Thank you very much, and good afternoon to all of you. I'll just reiterate, first of all, the comments made by Steve on the left and also Charlie in terms of the number of people in the room. I don't think I've been to a public engagement meeting with so many people in the room for quite a period of time, which, as quite rightly, it demonstrates your strength of feeling of the incidents over the weekend here in Mainey and across the Fenland area. As I have been introduced, yes, I am the Chief Constable, Nick Dean. I've been in post here in Cambridgeshire since 2018, and before that I was in Norfolk Constabulary, and in fact part of my career did police out on the Fenland area, particularly down in Market Terrington during the aftermath of the Tony Martin. So within the rural policing environment, I don't come here uninitiated in terms of some of the concerns that you actually will no doubt and quite rightly voice this afternoon.
No, I just want to point out one serious point is that I farm in Fodder Fen with my cousin Charlie.
I happen to be.
Hello, I haven't.
Robert, my brother Richard hasn't taken
over the farm
yet.
But what I would seriously, bit more. But what I'd really like to say is that I haven't witnessed anything like this in all my travels, which I've been lucky to do, whether it be Africa or wherever. I haven't seen lawlessness like this anywhere in the world. I had 25 vehicles, 4x4s, muddied up, driving at me on my narrow road, single road, opposite my house. Me being the belligerent guy that I am, I'm certainly not going to hide behind my door. I went out to face them because I think that's what needs to be done. Somebody has to do that, Chief Constable. And so I was going to do that. Hence, my car got rammed. I'm not too bothered about that, and I'm not too bothered about superficial damage. It was that our property, and there have been many people like this, has been violated. That's what I really don't like. And just to follow on briefly, obviously we made 99 calls. Hello?
On one of those calls.
Can you hear me? Yeah. On one of those calls, they said the police would be there within 3 to 4 hours. That was on Saturday morning. I'm still waiting. You know, that's not good enough. And in the evening, just to cap that, I received a text message to say, this is your crime number. This will not be investigated anymore. It will be filed. And I'm sorry. You know, I realise you have difficulties. The RCAT team are doing excellent work, but you have failed this community.
I was driven at pretty much by 25 cars, told by the police at my 999 call, were they actively coursing, which they weren't, they were just ploughing up my fields, 25 of them again. Again, I was given a reference number that evening, saying essentially the same thing, that it's not going to be investigated, but what I'd like to know is, where were the police? No helicopters, no sirens, no cars, nothing. Nothing. And at some point, someone's got to realise that if the police ain't going to carry a can, we've got to. And that's about all I've got to say.
Right. They've just cut all their wheat up down Christchurch. I wasn't at Christchurch at the time, but apparently they cut through the village, smashed gates, and there was nothing to be seen. So they've tore the land up. I've been in the village for 50 years, and I've never ever felt so fed up with nothing being done. I've rang every time. It's now getting worrying. You can't even walk your dog.
Similar story. 1 o'clock Saturday afternoon, we had 13 4x4s, and I counted over 70 people just literally took over our farm from 1 o'clock through to 4:30. I called 999 3 times during that time. I updated the Countryside Watch CCW app, probably every 15 minutes with a what 3 words location of where they were on the farm. we didn't have any response at all, absolutely zero. My family, my young 7-year-old daughter was crying. She was absolutely petrified. They were literally at our back gate, surrounding our garden, just literally tearing the place up, took over the whole farm. My question is, how bad does it have to get before we get a response? Is 70 people and 13 vehicles? We've had every single gate smashed and broken, every concrete block's been moved. We've had to rectify that today. We've got 4 vehicles dumped on the farm, 2 dumped, 1 stuck, 1 burnt out, that we're going to have to deal with. How bad does it have to get before we get to see someone? I'm yet to see a police officer yet.
Charlie.
We need to know specifics, and you can't say to us now, I haven't got them, I'm trying to get them. You know these things, you know what officers you had on patrol, you know what officers were sent out to those, you know what resources you've got, whether it be helicopters, whether it be stingers, whatever it is, you know this information, and that's what we need here now. That's what you're prepared for, and that's what you need to give people. But as someone also said, you know, you're looking at a can of worms here, because you get this wrong, and you will have another Tony Martin or something like that on your hands. You know, and this is the problem that you want to deal with.
We've heard all the firemen say that they had no response from the police Saturday morning. Can I just ask the Chief Commissioner what you was doing Saturday morning?
What I was doing on Saturday morning, Steve, it was my weekend off and I was walking my dogs. I'm not here to lie about that, that's what I was doing. And on Sunday morning I got a call from the Commissioner, and on my day off, as you would expect, I answered that call and put in a response.
I think I speak on behalf of everybody here that probably none of us feel safe. You know, we all feel uneasy now. I think it's been reported, and we've been made quite aware that there was fire engines damaged amongst all this as well. But it was reported that police were called by your colleagues at the fire service, and they didn't attend. Now, if you can't attend to your own emergency services colleagues, then what are you going to do to make us feel safe?
We need some more clarity. I think it was welcome, Chief Constable, to get a commitment that this will be a force-led investigation, and the area commander said that potentially in the next few days that there could be possible further information. I know that's subject to the investigation, but that to me suggests that you know, the importance of getting resource allocated to this. I think there were specific questions from Maureen and others on the helicopter. You know, was a request made? It's a separate issue then whether other areas were prioritised, and if so, why. But certainly if a request wasn't made, that then points to some questions around the call handling. What was the interaction with Norfolk? What was the call handling there? Fifthly, I think there's some lessons around the intelligence. Clearly, why was it only one bit of intelligence? These people were clearly coordinated. This was clearly planned. People turn up in such numbers with such vehicles in balaclavas and so forth. That takes some coordination, I would have thought, and it's not the sort of thing that people who do it as a one-off. So these are probably people that are known to the police. And then sixthly, there were questions around not just this weekend's resource, and I welcome the commitment that you personally gave to additional focus this weekend, but also in terms of future weekends. And I think that also plays into the 999 calls and the call handling and some of the personal safety issues. And then there were some specific case studies that were raised. Now I'm very conscious a meeting like this can be quite A meeting like this can be quite intimidating for some people that may have had a question or something that they wanted to raise but just didn't feel able to in a setting like this. So if anyone does, please get in touch with me after the meeting through my office, and I will ensure that that is then followed up with the Chief Constable or the Commissioner, or liaising with the NFU and councillors. But I think, that, as I said earlier, I think you coming in person and fronting this and dealing with some very legitimate but some very harrowing stories is important when you are discussing with your senior officers how you allocate. Clearly what's happened is unacceptable, and I think the force of the stories and the attendance today convey that, and I think it's been helpful to hear you be open about the fact mistakes clearly were made and lessons need to be learnt. And you also said at the start, you want to work with us. In my experience, we want to work with you. But there's real concerns, and that's what the meeting today was called for, to air those, and hopefully lessons can be learnt and we can move forward. So thank you everyone for coming. Clearly there's a lot of further work that we all collectively need to do, but I think by coming in such numbers, I think it's very helpful with senior police colleagues that they've heard from you direct, and working with Charlie, and thank you Charlie for all you've done to arrange this evening, but working with you, Tim, and local councillors, we assure you we will follow up both with the Commissioner and the Chief Constable moving forward. Charlie.